I'm Reece Stein on the island country of Cuba, a tropical paradise with beautiful mountains and beaches, a rebellious history, hundreds of classic American cars, but an infrastructure that could, well, frankly, use a coat of paint. But the best thing about Cuba is we're joined by our 3 children for a rare starting 5 only adventure.
This is the first time that we 3 have been together with our parents, without spouses or kids, since the 80s. And we still found out that we like each other. I think, at least I did.
We're on a week-long tour with Jensen McKay Tours of Kaysville. But we are not tourists. Tourism is not allowed. We are here in support of the Cuban people. And to that end, we brought gifts including toys and hard-to-get essentials for our host families. And rather than tour in government-owned buses, we travel in style in ubiquitous vintage 50s American cars, a symbol of Cuban culture and history. Ironic, since U.S. trade with Cuba is mostly banned. The cars predate the embargo, but auto parts are scarce, and many of these cars have Russian or Chinese engines, but they're comfortable and a lot of fun. Our drivers, like Tori, Alejandro, and Papa, are great and give us helpful insight into life in Cuba. They take great pride in maintenance to keep even the rarest of cars on the road.
And we spent every minute of our time traveling in those cars, and they were all different from each other. And you felt like you're on a party all the time.
They take us around Havana and on a couple of out-of-town trips to the mountains and the beach. The average Cuban can't afford a car and relies on a variety of mass transit. Our visit begins at Fortress de San Carlos and the 350-year-old tradition of the nightly cannon salute. It's a must-see event, a great way to start our tour. Next morning, our vintage convertibles take us to Revolution Square with the 358-foot tower and oversized statue honoring Jose Marti, national hero of the fight for independence from Spain. Castro and 2 popes drew huge crowds here. After a spectacular lunch of lobster and ribs, we hit the bricks on a tour of Old Town Havana through its 4 colonial plazas, including Cathedral Square, with its 18th century Baroque chapel, a World Heritage Site.
You got to interact with the people all the time, and I got to say, they're as scrappy as they need to be, given our geopolitical world we live in.
Next day, we hit the road, stopping at a tobacco plantation in Las Vanellas Valley, another World Heritage Site, surrounded by the Organos Mountains. We meet a bonchero, cigar maker, who carefully rolls and cuts the famous Cuban tobacco into smokable tubes, which our kids took great joy in puffing away. And no, they didn't inhale.
I thought it was pretty amazing. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but the culture is beautiful, the colors are beautiful. I love the rain. We had a great trip, and I would 100% do it again.
Afterwards, we board a boat to explore a limestone cavern full of typical carbonite formations. First time I've ever floated through a scenic cave. Our final excursion takes us to a gorgeous beach for a relaxing dip in the Atlantic and a refreshing sip of coconut milk, spiked with local flavoring Cuba is famous for.
The beach was great. The beach was beautiful. It was a perfect beach day. But all around, the food was amazing, delicious. It was a perfect trip.
The U.S. government won't allow us to stay in hotels. They're owned by the communist government. We stay in a private bed and breakfast right on the Atlantic seaboard near the embassy.
You're only 2 hours away from the United States. 90 minutes north is Florida, yet you're in a whole different world. I mean, you can go back to the old Spanish colonial times, you're seeing that architecture, then all of a sudden you're in 1950s with the old cars and the old architecture, and then you're in communist Cuba in the 1970s. It's just a weird place to be.
No question, one of the most unusual and eye-opening trips we've ever been on. Reece Stein and family in Havana, Cuba.